Alright, before we get started with the video, let's get these out of the way. Hope you enjoy!
Dark Carnival is a webcomic made by Nat, also known under the username Thrumples in many online spaces. Before we get into this, I'd recommend reading Dark Carnival before watching this if you haven't read it yet, as there will likely be spoilers for one thing or another, and Dark Carnival is a cool comic anyway, so what are you doing? Go to the link in the description, read through it, and come back. You back? Alright. I also want to give big thanks to Final for creating this iceberg chart and helping me with the script, and to Nat for creating Dark Carnival and helping with the script as well. You probably know what iceberg charts are if you've been on the internet long enough, but if for whatever reason you don't, here's a brief description. Iceberg charts are diagrams that represent vague pieces of information regarding a particular topic or piece of media. These pieces of information are grouped based on how likely it is for the average person to know about, common knowledge being at the top, and very obscure and sometimes disturbing information at the bottom. One last disclaimer. This chart and the script were created before any pages of the final chapter of Dark Carnival were released, so if you're watching this in the future and anything mentioned here has since become outdated or incorrect, that is why. Without any further ado, let's get into this chart. This first entry refers to the theory that Arch received the scar on his nose when attempting to kidnap Alex. This was supported by him wearing a band-aid on his nose during his act, which would have happened shortly after the kidnapping attempt. This was an easy assumption to make, but Aaron confirmed it to be true in Chapter 5. Does He Know is a meme image utilized mostly by Nat and others who have read the script. This image is a thumbnail from a YouTube video used by the channel New Rockstars and later more widely used as a reaction image depicting the Batman character Riddler with the caption, "Does he know?" The meme is most often used in emoji form in response to theories about what will happen in the comic, and used to stir up uncertainty and worry. According to Nat, the difference between "Does he know" and the next entry, however, is that "Does he know" has been used to indicate that said theorizers may be onto something. Ah, yes, the infamous smiley face emoticon. This entry refers to the habit Nat has of responding to certain theories with a smiley face. Very similar to Does He Know in its intent, though it seems to just be an attempt at being ominous rather than hinting at any correct lines of thought. Kathy is a moderator in the Dark Carnival Discord server who has a cameo in the comic. This is a now proven theory that the Jolene mentioned by the performers in Chapter 2 was Acro's vessel. This is confirmed to be true in Chapters 3 and 5, as Jolene breaks free of Acro's control in Chapter 3, and her name is confirmed in Chapter 5. This entry was a theory that Alex and Casey were still alive after being attacked by Arch. This was disproven during Chapter 3 when both Alex and Casey's bodies are shown, Casey being stabbed in the heart and Alex having the side of her head caved in. An American TV show. This show was a massive inspiration for the comic's later half, Chapters 5 through 7, and the beginnings of Dark Carnival's demon lore. This refers to the theory that Sam would become Acro's next vessel after Alex died. This theory ended up being partially true. While Sam was intended to be the next vessel choice for Acro, he was accidentally killed by Ringmaster when he sacrificed himself to save Sydney. There were a series of death hints given by Nat to the Discord server. Originally heart, head, back, eye, neck, hands, it was updated to heart, head, back, eye, lungs, hands. Arch stabbed Casey in the heart and caved Alex's head in. Sam's spine was crushed by Ringmaster. Acro ripped Luke's eye out and flung Brennan into a wall shortly afterwards, which resulted in a punctured lung. Hands refers to Sydney being unable to wash her friend's blood from her hands, as Acro killed Luke and Brennan using her body. Red flames are a special classification of demon, one that can exist in any of the demon ranks. More on that later. These demons have red eyes and are more powerful than the average demon of their rank due to having the same eye color and consequently being favored by Havu, the goddess of fire and ruler of the underworld. Ringmaster is a red flame, which Finn confirms in Chapter 6. Ruby is Ringmaster's current vessel. In her first appearance, she is shown to be an outlier, as unlike the other vessels, she is not declawed. In Chapter 6, the other vessels, aside from Sydney, are shown to dislike her enough to not want to rescue her. According to Nat, she was named after a demon in the show Supernatural, and her character arc was inspired by the Season 7 episode Repo Man. As with most fandoms, there are many fan-made characters based in the universe of Dark Carnival. The Greatest Show Unearthed is a song created by Creature Feature. It was a heavy inspiration for the first half of Dark Carnival, chapters 1 through 4. These are images used during countdowns to the day a comic page is released. As under normal circumstances, pages are scheduled every Monday and Thursday. 4 is an image of Danny Phantom taken from the Globs of Doom Let's Play video on YouTube, while 1 is a gif of Sonic from the Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 Snapcube dub, where he slides into frame and holds up a single finger, captioned, "Ha ha ha, 1. Other images that see occasional use are 3 and Hey Lilith, with 3 being a picture of JoJo Siwa from her Karma music video holding up 3 fingers, captioned, "That's 3, and Hey Lilith being an image of Lilith Clawthorn from the Owl House holding up 2 fingers, typically prefaced with, "Hey Lilith, how many minutes are left until the new page drops?" Scripties is a title held by the select people who have read the script for Dark Carnival and therefore know what will happen next. The infamous Cowl Tools panel. This image was put into the Hints channel of the DC Discord server, intended by Nat to tell people that not every little thing in the comic is something super relevant to the story. Ironically, the server did not know the meaning of cow tools and instead thought it was an ominous hint, proceeding to freak out about cow tools. Stagfin is the crack ship between Staghan and Finn.
Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? I could really use a wish right now, wish right now, wish right now. Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? I could really use a wish right now, wish right now, wish right now. Yeah! I could use a dream or a genie or a wish to go back to a place much simpler than this. Cause after all the partying, smashing and crashing, and all the glitz and the glam and the fashion, and all the pandemonium and all the madness, there comes a time where you fade to the blackness. And when you're staring at that phone in your lap, and you're hoping but the people never call you back. But that's just how the story unfolds. You get another hand soon after you fold. And then your plans unravel and you're saying what you wished for if you had one chance. So airplane, airplane, sorry I'm late. I'm on my way, so don't close that gate. If I before the politics that we call the rap game, and then when nobody listened to my mixtape, and then before I tried to cover up my slang, but this is for the Tito What's Up Bobby Ring, so can I get a wish to end the politics and get back to the music that started all of this? So here I stand, and then again I say, I'm hoping we can make some wishes out of airplanes. We pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars. I could really use a wish right now. Wish right now. Wish right now. We pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars. I could really use a wish right now. Wish right now. Wish right now. I could really use a wish right now. I could really use a wish right now. I could really use a wish right now. Like shooting stars. Right now. A wish right now. A wish right now.
This entry refers to the two demons Tempo and Announcer, who are friends of Ringmaster and Cameo in Chapter 5. They are married and have 2 kids. The comic used to have a prologue, where Luke finds a flyer addressing the show and it magically reappears after he takes it and runs off. It has since been removed and is no longer canon to the storyline aside from the advertisement being magic. This prologue is also the reason behind the page numbers being inaccurate. Delilah is Casey's older sister and the one who drove the kids to the carnival in Chapter 2. She was supposed to pick up the kids as well, but arrived too late. She makes a brief appearance later in Chapter 6 when she, along with the other kids' older siblings, are mentioned by Finn. Sam and Sydney had matching friendship necklaces. They were the kind that had half a gold heart on each necklace and, when placed together, would make a whole heart with best friends engraved into them. I don't think they're seen in most instances of the two being drawn, however, so they may have been retconned or simply forgotten. Tom was a joke in the Discord server. It was used as a stand-in for the names of the vessels before their names were properly revealed. Starch is the crack ship between Staghand and Arch. This entry refers to Sam's mother, Rosa, who abandoned him and his father when he was very young. She had another child with her new husband, effectively replacing Sam. He was devastated when he found out, and he isn't very fond of his half-sister. There was a skeleton animatronic in the Carnival's funhouse, first seen in Chapter 2 when the kids went through the funhouse. It jumped out at Alex, who promptly broke it due to a fight response to the sudden scare. In Chapter 6, it's revealed that the performers replaced it with a new skeleton, one that has noticeably broken ribs and cracks on its spine. Finn confirms that the skeleton is real, not plastic, and this was heavily implied to be Sam's skeleton. This is a theory that Jolene is related to Finn in some way because of the fact that they are both brown color point cats. The similarity is just a coincidence, however, as the two have been confirmed to not be related to each other. In the Dark Carnival universe, the hierarchy of demons is a list of ranks that the demons fall under that determines roughly how powerful each demon is. The highest rank being superior, demons who existed before the Great Fall and have power levels close to Havu herself, and the lowest being lowbloods, who are mostly mortal, usually being grandchildren or great-grandchildren of demons and otherwise having mortal blood. People in this rank are usually powerless, though will often be sturdier than the average mortal and will have the same weaknesses as full-blooded demons. This is an AU created by Nat where Sam survives the attack from Ringmaster. The demons believe him to be dead, so throw him out into a ditch with the rest of the bodies. He climbs out and runs into the search party sent for the kids. He's rescued, the bodies are found, and he's taken to the hospital where his legs are amputated. In this AU, Finn is able to figure out the involvement of demons much quicker than in canon. Fawn and Daisy are Sam's younger half-sisters. Sam's mother, Rosa, prefers daughters to sons, so she had a lot more affection for them. Unfortunately, this also comes with the caveat of her trying to push them into the box of being ideal daughters, which one may not exactly like. Similar to the Dark Carnival OCs, there are also many fan-made alternate universes of Dark Carnival. This refers to the fact that Acro is canonically gender fluid. Acro steals the pronouns and presentation of whatever vessel they are possessing, and, when not possessing a vessel, accepts any and all pronouns. I believe this is also a joke at the fact that, when not possessing a vessel, demons in the mortal world take the form of a black liquid. Acro was the first of the performers we saw in this state, so gender fluid could also be a play on words. This is a joke theory that the entirety of Dark Carnival is actually Sydney in a coma, with every event signifying part of her mental state and/or her slipping deeper into the coma. This theory parodies the typical coma theory usually assigned to media more fantastical in nature, such as the Pokemon anime or Adventure Time. Devil's Red Moon is the current title of an upcoming comic that'll go over the backstory of Ringmaster. Not much is known about it now, but it will be created some point after Dark Carnival is finished with. I mentioned this in the last tier, but when a demon is in the mortal world without a vessel, they take the form of a black liquid substance. Because of this, a joke started around the Discord server of Demon Goop being drunk, and Nat would receive numerous questions on if it was possible. I believe this stemmed from a theory over how exactly possession worked before it was revealed in Chapter 4. In the Dark Carnival Discord server, there's a channel specifically dedicated towards discussing theories on upcoming pages and chapters. Alongside the channel, there's a Discord role tied to it as well that can be tagged "Strike Up More Conversation." 2020 was the year in which Dark Carnival's plotline was changed and solidified into what it is today. In the previous plotline, created around 2017, the story was supposed to end in Chapter 4, with Sydney dying alongside her friends rather than being possessed. The designs of most of the characters were also changed sometime between 2020 and 2021. The first instance of the new designs was in page 11. Roughly around the time of Chapter 3, Nat posted a new Sydney ref with some demon speak written on it that said, "Changes to Acro's stage dress in Chapter 6. It said this because Nat underestimated the community's knowledge of demon speak and the ability to translate it without a translator chart. So when they had managed to translate most of the words, Nat had to do damage control to prevent the major spoiler. This could refer to two things, I believe. This entry could be about the fact that after the design change of some of the main characters, pages that were already created would be edited to fix said designs. This entry could also refer to the numerous community edits of DC pages, usually replacing dialogue in order to add some comedy.
Yeah, we'll try this one. And I'll say it just once.
Go ahead.
Tell you what, we could have had a good life together. Fucking real good life. Had us a place of our own. But you didn't want it, Ennis. So what we got now is Brokeback Mountain. Everything's built on that. That's all we got, boy. Fucking all. So I hope you know that if you don't ever know the rest. You count the damn few times that we have been together in nearly 20 years, and you measure the short fucking leash you keep me on, and then you ask me about Mexico, and you tell me you kill me for needing something I don't hardly never get. You have no idea how bad it gets. And I'm not you. I can't make it on a couple of high-altitude fucks once or twice a year. You are too much for me, Ennis. You son of a horse and bitch. I wish I knew how to quit you.
Nine Lives is another comic set in the same universe following different characters in the late 1800s to early 1900s where Ringmaster's close friend Announcer is the main antagonist. It's currently a major work in progress. Not too sure on this one, but Lethal Company was often played by the DC Discord community members, so I think that's what this entry is referring to. Shelley is a common nickname of the first and most powerful demon, Saeli, due to her actual name being hard to pronounce with a mortal tongue. Also, I apologize if I pronounced that incorrectly, because I honestly don't know. Anyways, she is known for her cruelty and is greatly feared by nearly all the other demons who avoid her whenever possible. Legends often refer to her as the Serpent's Legs, as she is practically an extension of Havu, falling just under her in terms of power. Myler is the second most powerful demon in the DC universe. He's a red flame and is notably calmer and more patient than other demons. Charlie is the older brother of Sydney. He was briefly shown in Chapter 6, being mentioned by name as well, and was one of the individuals who called Finn and Co. about the demonic activity in the carnival. An inside joke regarding an edit of Demi-Fiend from the SMT games with a random smiling mouth pasted on his face that was edited into a picture frame in the last page of Chapter 5. The joke didn't take long to get shared around the Discord server. This refers to a certain former member of the DC Discord who, among other things, would often spam the AU channel with vague AU concepts, most if not all starting with the word imagine, usually being imagine if such and such. It's now a sort of inside joke on the server. I believe this is referring to the fact that some screenshots of that weird "Hi, my name is Car" 3D model cat thing were drawn over with DC characters. This entry also refers to a certain former member of the DC Discord server who was adamant that Contour was a good guy and a victim due to the fact she presented a bit more empathy than the other performers. I believe this also turned into an inside joke of sorts. Sydney has an affinity for marine science. This trivia eventually led to a few panels on pages 217 to 219 being edited to depict Sydney wearing a fish shirt and Contour deciding not to attack her because she likes fish too. In 2023, German Doge on Artfight made a 3D model of a tank based on Ringmaster and submitted it as an attack. An individual in the DC Discord by the name of Hyo, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, often makes edits of the DC pages shortly after they're released. Some of these edits are in the pinned messages tabs. At some point, Ultraman was edited into a couple pages. I believe it was during Chapter 4, though I'm not sure. This is the game franchise that Demi Fiend is from, the character who was edited into the comic as a joke. Before Charlotte, Aaron, Zach, Cody, Sydney, and Jolene, the performers had numerous other vessels over the years of them running the circus. Many of these vessels are unknown, and even the ones that are briefly seen have little to no known information on them. Some former vessels we know the names of are Rosemary, Rico, and June. This entry refers to a fake map part animated by Nat to a part of the 1956 version of the song Tonight You Belong to Me by Patience and Prudence. This animation hints at a positive relationship between Ringmaster and her current vessel, Ruby. The depiction of Ruby in a padded cell near the end, along with the lyrics, indicates that Ringmaster will be exercised and Ruby may do something rash due to it. Page 151 is the first page of Chapter 5. The opening of Chapter 5 was a bit of a shock to most readers because of both the time skip, the setting change, and the introduction of the vessels. This refers to Nat's tendency of killing off characters who have completed or in progress romance arcs, which was largely accidental but kind of funny in hindsight considering the fact that Nat is Arrow Ace. I don't know much about this, as Nat is being quite secretive. I assume it may be referring to the not-so-soon-to-be-released ending of Dark Carnival and/or the community's reaction to said ending, or possibly an explanation of what happened to the performers after being sent back to the underworld, but don't count me on that. A member of the DC Discord named Finch often draws Shesta, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, the main character of 9 Lives, into random images. Alongside that, this is somewhat unrelated, but there are also similar instances with other characters, a well-known one being Stagham, a drawing of Staghan as John Pork. This entry is another story set in the DC universe that's about the god of death, Morta, and his 6 kids. It was surprisingly not too uncommon for people to mistake Ringmaster for a guy, up until she's referred to with she/her pronouns in the comic, that is. It's a bit embarrassing for me to admit, but I thought Ringmaster was a guy too upon first reading. The next 3 entries have basically no publicly available information. Nat has been super secretive, so everything I'll say about these next 3 entries is entirely speculation. This may be referring to how Casey was 14 when she died, or that Ruby has been a vessel for 14 years. If it's not either of those things, then I'm not sure, though I'm leaning more towards it being something related to Ruby, since she's fairly mysterious and it seems we'll learn more about her in Chapter 7. I'm also not sure what significance, if any, the asterisk has. My best guess is that this entry is a joke regarding the concept of filler episodes, or a similar concept. Nat's secretive nature regarding this, and this entry being seemingly irrelevant to DC, is definitely making me doubt myself here, though. Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey is a 1991 American science fiction comedy film. It's a sequel to Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I personally have never watched either of these movies, so I'm unaware of any potential ties between said movie and Dark Carnival, though it's possible that there may be similarities between the plotline of the movie and the plotline of DC or a certain DC character arc. Wait a minute, Kathy was mentioned at the start. Why is she being mentioned twice? You may be asking yourself. Well, while most know of her status as a moderator on the DC server, what's less known is how she, according to Nat, has been extremely influential to several aspects of DC, and probably knows the most about DC's plot aside from Nat herself. Kathy was the one who convinced Nat to add Demi Friend, and Kathy may have been the one to edit in Ultraman. Neither of those things matter much, but I thought it'd be fun to mention. Well, that was all I've got for you today. Thank you for watching all the way through, and if you were using this as background noise for a project of some sort, it looks great. If you have any input or extra context for anything I've gone over in this video, or if you have any ideas for anything that you think should have been on the chart, feel free to let me know in the comments. If this gets enough traction and another iceberg chart is created, I might make another one of these videos. Anyways, if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. Have a nice new year, and I'll see you soon.